To the ancient Greeks, the family was the foundational core of civil society, and at the top of that order sat one figure. She is the undisputed queen of Olympos. Surviving hymns and prayers describe her with titles that command reverence: ox-eyed for her deep gaze, white-armed for her radiant beauty, and golden-throned, sovereign of the gods. But then you read the Iliad. In the epic that defined Greek culture, the protector of marriage appears as a nagging, deeply insecure wife. This was a calculated choice by the foundational poet, embedding a cynical character study into their social architecture. Homer grants her an unrelenting hunger for dominance. She constantly plots behind her husband's back, holds vicious generational grudges, and manipulates mortal events to satisfy a need for petty revenge. The deity tasked with safeguarding the household is herself trapped in mythology's most dysfunctional marriage. This creates a paradox. A society that worshipped marriage deliberately framed its symbolic guardian as an insecure villain rather than a benevolent ruler. The union between the king and queen of the gods is known as the hieros gamos, the sacred marriage. It functioned as a consolidation of universal political power. The myths preserve a memory of their union here, on the peaks of Mount Ida. It was described as a magnificent alliance of equals, sheltered within a shimmering golden cloud. To seal the pact, Gaia presented them with golden apples. These fruits were the ultimate wedding gift, representing co-rulership, fertility, and a partnership without flaw. When Zeus began his cycles of infidelity, he didn't just break a vow. His affairs functioned as political treason, stripping away Hera's authority and status as a co-equal monarch. Her famous anger is an institutional reaction. It is the desperate response of a ruler whose power is being eroded by her own partner. Hera initially tried to solve this imbalance by attacking Zeus directly, attempting to chain him to his throne and seize control of Olympus. Zeus broke free and inflicted a brutal, public humiliation. He hung her from the sky, binding her wrists in gold and fastening heavy iron anvils to her feet. This physical defeat forced a change in strategy. Since she could not destroy the king, she began to wage proxy wars against his subjects. Her primary target was Heracles, a child born of Zeus's betrayal. His name was a constant taunt, literally translating to the glory of Hera. She spent a lifetime attempting to break him, from sending serpents to his crib to eventually driving him into the madness that caused him to destroy his own children. This cruelty to mortals is a calculated display. By punishing the vulnerable, she reminds Zeus that his actions have devastating consequences that only she controls. Her story illustrates the internal trap of a patriarchal system. Hera represents the figure who rises to the summit of the order, only to find herself bound by its rules. Because her authority is derived from her husband, she is structurally unable to dismantle the system that oppresses her without destroying her own status. To survive, she becomes the warden of the system. She brutally punishes other women and innocents to protect the precarious rank she holds. Her sacred animal carries the history of this vigilance. In this floor mosaic, the peacock's fanned tail is tied to the hundred-eyed giant Argos, whom she used to guard one of Zeus's lovers. When the giant was killed, Hera placed his eyes onto the bird's feathers. They represent the burden of eternal, paranoid watchfulness. To maintain the illusion of her sovereignty, she has to scan every corner of the cosmos, watching for threats from below and betrayals from above. Hera is a tragic strategist who sacrificed her compassion for survival. Her golden throne and all-seeing eyes are the very instruments of her eternal